Good evening. Coming up now, breaking global headline news with former British royal Prince Andrew has been arrested in a historic development. The US Supreme Court has struck down broad presidential tariffs in a landmark ruling. So we will discuss that because that's a big one and what President Trump said about that. And American forces are reported to be building up near Iran amid rising geopolitical tension. So stay tuned for details, and I welcome all of you with Zishan on air live every Sunday, 6 p.m. and onward, US Central Time, as well as with the social media. So welcome to all the viewers, not only in Houston, but all over the US and globally. Without further ado, the key headlines with regards to this tragic incident that happened outside of Mar-a-Lago, and where the law enforcement shoots and kills man at Mar-a-Lago, Secret Service says. And this is where U.S. Secret Service agents and a Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office deputy shot and killed a man who entered the secure perimeter at Mar-a-Lago with, quote, what appeared to be a shotgun and a fuel can, unquote. Secret Service basically announced today. And that's where Rafael Barros, he's a Secret Service special agent in charge, and then the other people and the authorities briefed about this incident. TSA says pre-check is still operational after previous announcement of suspension during a funding fight. This is reported by AP News. And then the tragic news that happened this past week, Reverend Jesse Jackson, civil rights leader and Chicago icon, dead at 84, as reported by mainstream news outlets as well as Chicago Sun-Times. He was very close to different Democrat presidents, as well as you can see President Obama. However, with President Obama, he was caught off mic where he basically said, I want to cut his nuts off, unquote, quote and unquote. And that was where he considered President Obama to be too white and not really looking out for the key causes that the African American and the Black community in Black America has faced in this country. So in 1988, that's when Reverend Jackson ran again and did even better from his previous one in 1984, earning 29% of the primary ballots, 7 million votes. And Jackson moved to Chicago, from Chicago to Washington in 1989, where he ran one of two shadow senator positions created by the District of Columbia Council to lobby for DC statehood inside Congress. And then here you can see he was also recognized at DNC. And he was in the thick of politics in the 1990s. President Bill Clinton, when he took office, and Jesse Jackson Jr., his second oldest child, was elected to fill a seat vacated by U.S. Representative Mel Reynolds, who resigned in 1995 after a jury convicted him of sexual assault charges. And here you can see him in the picture with President Clinton. And those of us who have been following politics, he basically was very involved with even rescuing and negotiated a release of 22 American prisoners that he brought back to the United States from Cuba. And he met Fidel Castro. And he said, quote, and even Castro said, quote, I did it for him, unquote, said Castro, insisting he had freed the prisoners as a result of Reverend Jackson's visit. And then he, as a candidate himself in 1984, and he did well in the Democratic primaries, and I mentioned then his second run as well. You could see him with Martin Luther King Jr., the MLK, obviously, with his civil rights movement and his struggle. And he was, part of that struggle as well, as we look back and read upon his legacy. So that's Reverend Jackson. Our thoughts and our prayers are with his family and friends. The Washington Post has reported Democratic-led cities moved to block ICE, setting up clash with Trump. So ICE out for good, and this is where in various cities like New York, Philadelphia, and elsewhere, officials take steps such as vowing to prosecute agents who violate local news to try to limit immigration crackdowns. And Mamdani is also saying that they want to make sure where their delineation of authorities and they know the law, and it's going to be interesting in the coming weeks and months. In New York, as reported, elected Democrats in major U.S. cities have banded together to try to block the Trump administration from aggressive immigration operations, such as the one now winding down in Minneapolis, issuing a state of policy changes and going to prosecute agents who violate local laws. And over the past 2 weeks, mayors in LA, New York, Chicago, Boston, Oakland, and Seattle have signed executive orders attempting to restrict how and where immigration and custom enforcement, as popularly known as ICE agents, can operate in their cities. The policies broadly seek to restrict ICE agents from city property and parks, and in some cases, direct local police to monitor the activities of federal agents. So this government shutdown and the funding, and some are saying, and rightly saying, that they need to relook at this and perhaps let the previous agencies of the U.S. government, like the Department of Justice and U.S. Customs, to take their previous position on immigration enforcement instead of ICE. And some are just very adamant in terms of going back previously, prior to 2003, because there was no Department of Homeland Security. It was created after 9/11, and then it's a humongous and a huge bureaucratic department that has been created. And now we are here. So this is an opportunity for Americans and everyone to relook at this, and the debate is on, and that's where Democrats and many Republicans are also joining Democrats. BBC has reported an unprecedented moment for the UK and a former prince, and this is where Prince Andrew was arrested. After former Prince Andrew's arrest due to Epstein connections, members of Congress called for more. So this is going to be closely watched situation. It's a developing news, and let's see how many arrests we'll see elsewhere outside of UK. The arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office relates to Andrew's time as the UK's trade representative between 2001 and 2011. It follows a series of allegations prompted by the release of the Epstein file that Andrew shared official documents. That was reported by BBC. And here, the Supreme Court, in their big decision and landmark decisions, and shown their declaration of independence, the court's rejection of President Trump's tariffs program is the latest in the series of clashes between him and Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. The justice divided 6-3 ruled that Trump's aggressive approach to tariff on imports from across the world was not permitted under a 1977 law called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, that's IEEPA. The Friday ruling invalidated the vast majority of tariffs that were in effect, except for some sectors' specific duties, such as those on autos, car parts, and semiconductor chips. So this is where President Trump has responded back. He said, quote, "I, as President of the United States of America, will be effective immediately raising the 10% worldwide tariff on countries, many of which have been, quote, ripping, unquote, the U.S. for decades, without retribution until I came along to the fully allowed and legally tested 15% level," unquote, Trump wrote in a social media post on Saturday. So this is where NBC News has reported this. Trump called Supreme Court justices, quote, "disloyal to the Constitution," unquote, over tariffs ruling. And NBC, another headline, Trump says he will raise the global tariff to 15% after Supreme Court setback. So this is another developing news, because now the executive branch and the judiciary is head on, and the Constitution is there, and these justices, the Supreme Court justices, who in fact are in majority from a conservative standpoint, also ruled against President Trump. So it's a 6-3 ruling, and it's a big one. And let's see how politics and this confrontation between the executive branch and the judiciary would take place in the next few weeks and upcoming weeks and months. The Washington Post has reported Trump appears ready to attack Iran as U.S. strike force takes shape. So, from international news perspective, Middle East is again on shaky grounds with regards to this buildup. Although the United States and ally Israel have a military advantage over Iranian forces, there are ways for Tehran to make any attack painful, official says. And on the right hand side of the screen, you can see all the U.S. Naval ships and the U.S. ships and military bases hosting aircraft, other bases as well. And last but not least, I would like to also mention some of the dashboard reports that I basically saw on Facebook, and from YouTube it's even more, and even on IG, but I'm sharing this, and those who are watching me live, please subscribe my YouTube channel as well and connect with me on Facebook as well. So in the last 90 days, I have, because of your participation, over 100,000 views. It went up 53%. In the past 2 to 3 weeks, it's 42,000 views. So imagine 100K and 42,000 views. That's all happening with social media because of you who are watching me and following me on social media platforms. And those of you who have been listening to me for decades, thank you so much. And all of this is not possible because of you who are watching me, who are connected with me, and who are listening to me. And also, I would like to thank our key advertisers because they are getting the most bang for the buck because obviously the responses that they get, and at the same time, what we're trying to do for them. So I would like to mention Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com. If you have not visited their website, go online, www.aitinsurance.com, and call their office, 713-785-4000. That's their number, 713-785-4000. And you can get an auto insurance quote, commercial insurance, business insurance, or you can bundle it through homeowners insurance. So call Affordable Insurance of Texas, AITinsurance.com is their web address, and their phone number is 713-785-4000. Also would like to mention Roop Sari Palace. That's right, Roop Sari Palace. They are at Hillcroft, but you can actually schedule a virtual tour, literally, and you can just call them at 832-267-0065. That's 832-267-0065. You can visit online, roopsari.com. They have beautiful dresses for grooms and for brides and for men, women, and children of all age groups. So please connect with the Roop Sari Palace. You can visit them in Houston at Hillcroft, or visit roopsari.com and schedule a virtual tour, and at the same time mention my name and they will give you some good discounts as well. roopsari.com. Eid is also coming up. That's the festivities, and then after Eid there will be other festivities from other events like Diwali, what have you. So they have a lot of variety and shipments from overseas. That's Roop Sari Palace, and visit them online, roopsari.com. Also, Shehnai, Texas. That's right, Shehnai, Texas. That's their web address, shehnaitexas.com, www.shehnaitexas.com. That's SHAHNAI, Texas.com, for catering. They have hundreds and thousands of people's catering experience. So they have catered to hundreds and thousands of people. And you can also visit this website, shehnaitexas.com, where you can order online, and even party trays, or for catering, where they have catered to 700 people, 600, even thousands of people. Recently, 400, 600, and 700 people, 3 different caterings. So call 739531388, and they are located at Hillcroft. You cannot miss them. 5920 Hillcroft Street, Suite D, the Shehnai Restaurant Catering, and their web address is shehnaitexas.com. And they have just celebrated their 25th anniversary, so congratulations to them. And last but not least, Prince Jewelers Houston, 281-777-1457. You can get a lot of variety, heavy sets, light sets, earrings, rings, chains, heavy chains, light chains. You can even buy gold. You can even sell gold, 22 karat gold, and they've been in business for decades. 281-777-1457. Their number is 281-777-1457, 5901 Hillcroft Street, Suite C3. So again, thanks to all of our great advertisers as well. With that, I'm going to sign off, continue with the legacy media, and thanks for watching.